So, nama saya Hafiz Azum bin Afandi dari kelas DTP 3A. Buka matrik saya 14 DTP 19F 1022. Ni saya akan bincangkan tentang case study yang telah dikaji. Introduction. First kali kita akan cerita tentang main environmental issue. The water management system in Malaysia employ and depends heavily on the water supply management approach to cater to demand. This approach is unsustainable in the long run as water demand will eventually overtake water supply. The greater the demand, the more water has to be supplied. So more structure like dams, water treatment plants and water distribution pipes need to be built. So dia kata kat sini punya masalah utama dia ialah air, masalah pencemaran air. So dekat Malaysia ni masalah utama tentang air ni dekat sungai, dekat laut yang tercemar. Detail of the issue. The Department of Environment Malaysia published the annual environmental quality report, which is compliance with the sections of the environmental quality. The main river pollutant are domestic sewage, waste from livestock farm, runoff town, silt from wood, waste from rubbish dump, runoff from farm, litter riverside, squatter and mining waste. So antara punca-punca pencemaran ni daripada kebun-kebun yang berdekatan dengan sungai, bahan buang daripada manusia, lepas tu bahan-bahan toksik daripada kilang-kilang. Antara sungai-sungai yang tercemar dekat Malaysia ni adalah Sungai Juru, Sungai Gong dan Sungai Segek. Imagine that you are one of the engineer in the factory. So one thing I have to do if I were an engineer is large scale desalination. Popular in many parts of the world, particularly in the Middle East, the desalination salt from seawater thereby turning into fresh water. 2. Agriculture irrigation technology. The agriculture industry is one of the biggest consumer of fresh water began to grow and thrive. 3. Wastewater treatment technology. More and more manufacturers across the world are considering recycled water into safe drinking water. Part 1. Engineering management in society. Classified by law and standard in engineering practice. First is engineers shall hold paramount the safety, health and welfare of the public. If engineer judgment is overruled under circumstance and endanger life or property, they shall notify their employer or client and such other authority as may be appropriate. Engineers shall approve all those engineering documents that are compatible with applicable standard. Engineers shall not reveal fact, data or information without the prior consent of the client or employer except as authorized or required by law of this code. Next is determine legal and regulatory obligation for public safety, workplace and protection of the environment. Legal requirement. Safety, Health and Welfare at Work Act 2015. Employer manage and conduct their work activities in such manner as to ensure the safety, health and welfare of employer. That a risk assessment is carried out by the employer or person in control of the place of work. Transport hazard that exists in the workplace must be assessed as part of this risk management. Appropriate steps taken to eliminate or reduce any risk found. Correlate duties to profession, employer and society. First is engineers shall be guided in all their relation by the highest standard of honesty and integrity. Engineers shall acknowledge their error and shall not distort or alter the fact. Engineers shall advise their client or employer when they believe a project will not be successful. Engineers shall not accept outside employment to the detriment of their regular work of interest. Before accepting any outside engineering employment, they will notify their employers. Engineers shall not promote their own interests at the expense of dignity and integrity of the profession. Here we go for the part 2, professional bodies in engineering. Classify professional conduct. So the first is a registered engineer shall at all time hold paramount the safety, health and welfare of the public. A registered engineer shall undertake assignment only if he is qualified by education and experience in the specific technical field in which he is involved. A registered engineer shall issue public statement only in an objective and truthful manner. A registered engineer shall act for each employer or client as faithful agent or trust. So seorang engineer ni kena ambil projek tu berdasarkan standard dengan dia punya sijil yang dia ada dan identify the code professional conduct for relay engineering field in Malaysia, BEM. Professional engineer with practicing certificate. Registered professional engineer with practicing certificate not to falsify qualification. Professional engineer. Registered professional engineer not to falsify qualification. Registered professional engineer to certify work only if he has control over supervision, etc. Registered professional engineer not to accept benefit from more than one party. So engineer yang profesional dia akan tak boleh ambil satu manfaat daripada lebih pada satu pihak. So maknanya dia kena kerja satu tempat. Graduate engineer. Register graduate engineer not to specify qualification. To certify work only he has supervised, witnessed or inspect such work, etc. Not to accept benefit from more than one party. Engineering technologies. Register engineering technologies not to specify to certify work only if he has supervised, witnessed or inspect such work. Engineering to not to accept benefit from more than one party. Part 3, Sustainability and Green Engineering. Illustrate model of sustainable development. Understanding sustainability. Outline 5 equality principles of which sustainable development needs to be based, regardless the classification as social, economic, environment, and 3. Basing sustainable development on principle give it clarity, giving room from similar question to be asked before policies. It's also crucial in linking human equity, the environment, challenge meaningless interpretation and provide a basis evaluation. The first is prosperity. Number 2, social justice. 3, transfrontier responsibility. 4, procedural equity. 5, interspecies equity. The Venn diagram model. So dalam gambar ni ada structure Malaysia Green Technology Master Plan. Strategic direction. The successful implementation of GTMP will require strategic direction that are practicable and achievable. The strategic direction considered in the GTMP encompass several aspects which will need to work in tandem. The second aspect to the strategic direction looks at mainstreaming green technology into market through target program. They encourage informed purchasing decision based on heightened environmental consciousness. This can achieve through smart partnership involving government, the manufacturer and the retailer. So first is energy sector. Second is manufacturing sector. Third is transport sector, and building sector, waste sector, and water sector. Figure C show 5 strategic thrusts for the development of conducive ecosystem for green technologies growth. Discover, invention, and innovation towards sustainability and green technology relate to the case. The Sea-Beam was invented by Andrew Tutton by Peter Grimke to surfers who want to clean up the world ocean. The Sea-Beam can filter out plastic, detergent, and oil, allowing clean water to flow back out. Inside the bin is catch bag, which traps any floating pollutant. The submersible water pump sucks water through the bin, passing it out again once it has been cleaned. It only needs to be empty once a month and could make a big impact on water pollution in port and harbour worldwide. Sustainability engineering for the win. Determine the needs for sustainable and green engineering towards providing the solution in relating case. So danger of water pollution is danger to our health because its heavy metal from industrial process can accumulate in nearby lake and river. Is toxic to marine life such as fish and shellfish, and subsequent to the human who eat them. Danger to our economy. Water pollution can be prevented by stopping pollutants from contaminating nearby water. There are a number of water treatments to prevent pollution such as biological filter, chemical additives, and filter. Danger to our environment. There are many different types of water pollution that all have different adverse effect of environment. Illustrate the current issue in water sustainability, method and implementation of the integrated management concept of water resource and related ecosystem. First is current landscape and issue challenge. Next is water supply industry, reliability of water supply, non-revenue water, limited coverage of clean and treated water. So the conclusion is, to this end, the MPA has been developed a strategic roadmap that inform the attention for the future development of green technology, strategies and program in Malaysia. In this iteration, TVS has target 6 key sectors that are primary contribution to carbon emission in the country: energy production and supply, building, manufacturing, transport, waste management, and water supply. The initiatives that are described these key areas, of which some area already underway, will be expanded as more data is amassed and can be integrated for a greater specificity in setting target. Thank you.